Check, check. Welcome in, gang. How's everybody doing this evening? Hope everyone's had a good weekend. Scotty, how we doing, man? How was your weekend? Hopefully good. Anybody do anything fun or just kind of relax? Nice, man. Work project, construction? What are you working on, brother? Bit of a gap down to start, but we'll see. Kind of puts us in between a couple zones, but we'll definitely we'll go over that for sure. Yeah, Kevin, I'll kind of get my thoughts. Like I said, um, I'm just one person on a discourse thoughts. I could be wrong, but I'll give you kind of my thoughts on how I think the markets will kind of react to this more in the coming days and weeks. That's pretty cool, Scotty. Yeah, post a photo or video somewhere whenever you get a chance. It'd be cool to see it. Oh yeah, we're looking at spying QQQ for sure. That's what we always start the class with for sure. But if you guys got individual names, if you guys swung some stuff and now you're kind of worried, or if you're not in anything, again, put the name in the chat. Let me know if it's a day trade or a swing, if you're in it or want to be in it. Because like I said, that gives me lets me know different levels to give you. You know, if you're in something that expires in November versus something that expires in 4 days, that's a big difference on how I tell you to trade things. But yeah, I'm gonna send out one more. It's 5:03 my time. One more premium ping, and then we'll get started, guys. All right, annoying ping is sent out. 13 in here. That's usually the go-to for me. So welcome in, guys. My name is StartedWith. If any of you guys are new, one of the staff members here. I do the Sunday night lecture. Kind of just a way to get our focus for the week, our game plan for the week, things to look for, news to listen for, stuff like that. Setups I'm watching, setups you guys might be watching. I very often take some of your trades that you guys suggest. So it's always cool to have you guys send some setups that you guys are watching. But if it's something you just kind of want some perspective on, maybe you're not good at charting or maybe newer, that's fine too. Just speak up in the chat or politely unmute your mic. I think as of now, let's see. As of now, I'll give you guys permissions to open your mic. We love Norvin, but if he rolls through and takes over, then we got to mute the mics. But yeah, feel free to stop me anytime if you guys have a question, if I go over through something a little too fast or whatever. But quickly, guys, just want to talk about this, leaving this up here because this was posted last week, and lo and behold, we all know the U.S. attacked Iran nuclear facilities. Kind of my thoughts on it. I'll try and keep it short and sweet. Trying to be non-biased and trying not to offend anybody because we have people from all walks of life in here. So my thought is I think the markets are going to brush it off. It doesn't mean we're going to rock it up in one 15-minute move tomorrow or whatever it is. Ooh, super laggy. Man, I hope that doesn't give us an issue tonight. Interesting. Damn. I think markets are going to rebound from this. I don't know how quick, like I said, whether it's an hour or a day, but kind of two scenarios I'm kind of watching here. Larger picture time frame. I'm now in the 4-hour charts here. I guess before I get ahead of myself, I think they're going to kind of shrug it off because they see, in my perspective as well, they're not attacking the Iranian people. They're attacking the regime that supports terrorist activity. I'm not a geopolitical expert, so take that, as you will. But that is my thoughts. How the markets are looking at it is, if you are a believer that there was nuclear activity and not good nuclear activity, the threat as of now, or if we believe the reports, the threat is set back or fully eliminated, at least for the time being. So I think the markets will gap as they have gapped because of uncertainty. But once they realize, hey, it's not the U.S. going after Iran day after day like Israel is, I think that the markets will slowly shake it off and bounce back out of this and make its way up over that kind of that 595, 596 pocket up here. They were kind of we were watching this week. And so, again, I don't know if we recover all this tomorrow or in 2 days or whatever, but just some things I'm watching, some more things to listen for in the news. I recommended that Twitter page you guys follow last week. And so that's what I'm going to kind of focus on this week, is listening if and when Iran does retaliate or try and get us back, so to speak. Listen to see if they hit an airbase in the Middle East. Listen to see if there's casualties or anything like that, because then of course it's going to be tit for tat. Then the US is going to puff their chest and go, okay, well, now they attacked US service members, so now we got to attack you guys again. And so it's going to be back and forth. But if Iran doesn't do anything, we're going to recover faster and a more quicker, than I approach, so to speak. So that's kind of what I'm listening for this week. But purely from a chart perspective, I'm kind of using this upper line here, you guys. This 595 zone is now kind of our upper range this week to play in. And down here, this green zone here, not this one down here, but this green zone here around 590. That is, we can definitely sell through that this week if we get a little bit weak, but that's what I'm treating as kind of my lower range for the week. You guys know I like to find swing highs in the market, swing lows in the market, and form, heavy support resistant zones, deep confident zones around that. And so that's kind of what I'm focusing on this week. So I'm looking at this chart right here. As of now, who knows where it pump up in the morning, but I'm looking and I'm saying, okay, this 595 to 596 pocket up here was a very big support zone, was demand, whatever you want to call it. And we are now underneath it. So I'm treating this as resistance on the way up. So again, I'm going to zoom in just a little bit here, compress the chart. Any pushes up here, let me get my drawings. So as of now, we're here. Let's see where we open in the morning. Maybe we kind of open at around that. Any push up in this gap, I'm trimming calls heavy on the way up. And any pushes kind of as we get into this red zone here, that's where, as like I kind of hint on trade floor quite often, is I'm not saying just dive into puts, full port puts, but this is a zone where if you're in down here, and you made it up to here and still in some calls, this is where you should be getting out, patting yourself on the back, and kind of be looking to get out of calls and watch price action up in this zone here. It's not a spot that I watch, like I say, every week. I don't want to watch a move all the way up into here and then go, okay, now I'm going to take, now I'm going to start a call position here at resistance. No, you want to buy calls on sell. You want to buy calls, if we break out, retest Friday low of the day zone, like that's a perfect spot to try a double bottom. The double bottom is like that on the daily. That's a good spot for a breakout retest of some calls here. But again, if and when we move up to the zone here, this 595, up to 596, I'll be dropping hints on trade floor in my tab that, not saying you can't be long here on a breakout retest, but this is not where I want to start a call position. So if we do get a push up tomorrow, like I said, I expect us to shake off this war news pretty quickly, unless something very, very seriously escalates. If there's a terrorist attack, inside the US or something like that, that can make us move for sure. But keep an eye and ear out on the markets, on the news. But again, I expect us to kind of do, obviously, we can only do one or two things. We're going to go up or down. Obviously, we can go sideways. But if we start looking weak again under this kind of 592 zone here, kind of where we're gapping, where the gap is starting, I think this 590 comes quick for us. I'm not going to fight it with calls. If it looks like selling pressure, it's just kicking in over and over. This is the target that I'm going to look to the downside. And again, same thing on the downside. If I watch this whole move down here, I'm definitely not taking puts here. I'm looking for a call bounce on that 590, 590, 15 pocket zone for sure, because we can see we get down here, we can see that reaction. We break over that. What happens? Selling pressure just goes out the window. Buyers take over in a big way. After hours of pre-market, we get back to that zone there. Big moves, pre-markets. We sell under that. Selling pressure kicks in for sure. But again, we break over that. Once we get to break over, I'm on the 4-hour chart, so there's some big moves on these candles here. But once we get over, we get some big continuation up. And so that's kind of what I'm doing this week. Again, I'm not looking for anything less than 590 until we break it and we get some longer time frame closes under it. Does anybody have any questions? Let me see the chat here. Yeah, Calvin, glad you trimmed on those for sure, man. Omid, I did not swing calls. I kind of got a hunch on some swinging some puts. I watched that press. I'm not going to say I called it or I knew it. I watched that press briefing on whatever it was, Thursday or Friday last week. And the key word was President Trump will decide within 2 weeks. He didn't say he's giving them 2 weeks, then he's making a decision. It says within 2 weeks. So that could have been an hour after she made that statement, or it could have been 2 or 3 days we found out after that statement. So, I should have went with my gut. Obviously, if this sell holds, I could have been like, pat myself on the back. But if news didn't break like that, if they didn't attack, then we probably would open flat or a gap up, and I would have said, hey, why did I swing? So it's in hindsight, but I was thinking about it. I just kind of had a gut feeling, but doesn't matter because I didn't swing anything. So oh no, Omid, I'm giving you guys this is just kind of an overview of the markets, what to look for. A lot of people will take screenshots or some notes on my comments or my levels here, and it's just a good reminder for them, because a lot of people, they may, I'm not saying you guys do, but a lot of people trade on their phone, and they're just, they're so zoomed in and focused on a 5-minute time frame here, and they're like, hey, the market's going up, man, my thinkorswim is really wigging out, sorry about that. They're on their phone, they're just saying, hey, markets are going up, and they want to decide to take calls, but little do they know, they're taking calls at resistance, on a big zone. And so my job every Sunday, Omid, is just to kind of give you guys a game plan, a blueprint, so to speak, to kind of where to look for some zones of resistance, because we can see, just last week from Friday, we pushed up to this 595, 596 pocket. Look at these topside wicks here. I was looking at in the afternoon all along. You see the 30-minute chart, you see 30-minute candles, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, however long that is, with that 3 hours, fail to break over 595, 5. That tells me there's a lot of selling pressure there. So again, on the way up, there's still selling pressure here until it's not, and we break over. So, if you catch the bounce tomorrow in VC or whatever with Nando, ride that wave. Just be mindful when we get to that 595. That's kind of the danger zone to be in calls, holding positions, stuff like that. Any questions on SPY before I jump to QQQ, and then I'll get to your guys' watch list request? Any questions? Unmute your mic if you guys have questions. Otherwise, I'll go on to QQQ and see where we're at. Let's zoom out just a little bit. Let's jump to the 4 hour, just kind of see where we're at. Again, top range, that 530, big picture, work my way down, but back under that 530, obviously we're on Friday, but we can see why I picked swing highs and swing lows in the market, why I think it is so beneficial and it makes it so easy to trade. This 530 failed to get over, selling pressure, failed to get over, it pushed, but breakouts not holding, if you believe, or focusing on a 4 hour chart, selling pressure. Finally buy back over, what happens? Big buying volume, big buying momentum. Come back under, selling pressure, over, buying momentum, under, sells, okay? And now we laid down. We sold under and closed under 528. So same thing up here is, for me, kind of similar to SPY, my top range on the week on SPY, or excuse me, QQQ. Maybe we get here tomorrow in 1 hour. Maybe it comes Thursday. Maybe it comes in 2 weeks. I don't know. But until we break over this 528, that is my top range, kind of zone, kind of range I'm looking at. So you guys don't know about zones and ranges. It's basically just this right here is what I'm focusing on. I'm not in any calls looking for stuff up here. That's way too high, way too confident or cocky of a target. So this middle range up here, this upper range here, kind of a middle, kind of a lower for now. This is my range that I want to play in this week. That's what I'm focusing on this week. And so my top 528, my lower range, 522 to 522.31. Again, the reason for this zone here is we can see price action around here. When we get around it, I'm looking for, again, the swing highs and the swing lows, the biggest price action movements that we're getting. And so I'm going to zoom in for you guys here on some just from Friday. And again, stop me if you guys have questions. So my game plan tomorrow, obviously watch price action. Right here, we're down here, kind of around this let's just call it 522.3. And he opens under it, and we break this low here. Let's just kind of say we kind of scoot around here and look for this low here at 523. We break that. This is going to come quick and easy. Don't fight that. If we break this low here, this overnight session low here, if we break that tomorrow, 523, do not fight that with calls. Look for a sell down retest entry for puts. take your puts down, you know, a whole, basically $1 from where it's sitting at right now, 522.3, or excuse me, 523.3 to 522.3. Tongue twister, sorry. It's a whole $1 move down. I would be looking for down here. Definitely play the bounce. So again, you guys, if you guys are scalpers, there's lots of levels in between this $1 move down, but I look at bigger picture when I take trades. If tomorrow I take a QQQ put, I'm most likely buying a Wednesday or Thursday contract. I got some wiggle room. So if we kind of bounce around here, you know, 15, 20%, I can let this move happen and I secure my money on puts down there. So if we make that move down, actually good idea for you guys that are following along as well. Get some alerts set down here because that is definitely what I'm doing. And then some alerts here. Friday's low, definitely get some alerts up here. If we open near here to the upside bullish play, we kind of hold this bottom range here. Look for a call bounce and trim on the way up. Meaning trim on the way up. You know, how do I know where to trim? Okay, let's zoom in just a little bit. Hopefully this doesn't get all weird on me. Perfect. All right. So trim on the way up. So we're gonna have a lot of candles in here, you know, come tomorrow morning. So again, let's just say we bounce this 523. We get into calls with river, whatever it is. So you're trimming as we stagger on the way up. You start looking for candle body closes all the way up. You look left to find your targets. You send alert or whatever it is. Okay, there's a lot of consolidation top range here in the pre-market at 524. So we push up to 524. Boom, you sell a bunch here. Breakout retest of 524. You hold your runners. Next big zone here. Again, why does 525 matter? Try to make my charting as easy as possible. If I'm going too quick, stop me. But again, 525, lower zone here. So this was support on Friday. When we break through, it is now resistance. So any push up here, I expect to see a kick down sharply. I don't think we blast through that on first attempt, meaning let's just pretend, you know, ignore all this up here, but let's just pretend this is Monday's price action. We're pushing up, pushing up. I expect to see, you know, a fake breakout candle and a sell down as orders, maybe orders that didn't get filled, they're now getting filled on a push up here because these big bounces, there may be orders that didn't get filled. So a big push up, I expect to see rejection. I'm not saying we reject all the way down, maybe we do, but basically a retracement back into VWAP, some EMAs, whatever it is. But definitely, if we catch that move tomorrow on a bullish push up, I'm looking to be out at 525 for sure. Maybe I'll hold one, you know, if I caught the whole move, you know, and then start looking for, you know, more of this gap fill in here. Daily 20 is going to be creeping up overhead. Hourly 20, this yellow line, wherever it is, wherever it ends up, is going to be creeping up overhead. So again, you guys do not enter, like I say, do not enter down here and say, okay, I'm going for 532. That's just foolish because we have all this price action here. This is volume. This is potential sell order sitting here to trigger down and stop you out. Okay, so you know, don't look up here when you're stuff down here. You look left. It's easy. You know, this is not all-time highs. All-time highs is very, very tricky to trade. You know, we don't have nothing to work off of other than fib extensions. But we push up here, start looking left. We have all this information here. Any break under 520, or excuse me, 522, that's going to be concerning for the bulls and kind of for the market overall, because if we break that and hold under that tomorrow, 522, you know, we're breaking. Let me scroll left here on a zoomed in look. Like, look what happens here on this 522, this red shaded area. We get under it. Look at that selling pressure kick in. We break. Let me zoom in here. It's a very, very good example of a breakdown retest. Hang with me here. Zoom in as much as I can for you. This was just May 29th. So again, this 522 that I was concerned about. If we break under that tomorrow, because we're over it right now, breakdown retest. And if that retest doesn't hold and we break up tomorrow, you see what happens. That selling pressure kicks in. This is going to be, I'm not saying we get all the way down here, but this is the same kind of price action you should expect if you start seeing a break under and just sellers in complete control. If they can't reclaim that 522, we're going to leg down to the next zone here, the next demand, you know, the next, you know, pivot zone, whatever you want to call it. So that 522, for me, that must hold this week. Otherwise, we're looking pretty ugly on the markets. So as of now, we're kind of a little bit selly. We'll see. Any questions on QQQ, you guys? And I don't really see any charting requests. So get them in if you guys want them requested. Don't know if Fitness is in here. No, he's not. He DM'd me something, but let's see. Yeah, Scotty, let's do XLE for sure. Let's hit it. Let me zoom out. Of course, this is oil energy related, XLE energy sector. So your Exxon Mobils, help me out, guys. Your Chevrons, I think that is. I'll come back to this, Scotty. CVX Chevron, yep. Oxy, OXY, names like that are probably gapped up. Yep. CVX, gapped up. ExxonMobil, gapped up. Yep. So this is, I don't know, I guess you could call it a war hedge, you know, stuff like, yeah. Lockheed Martin, LMT. No, Siri, I'm not talking to you. Yeah, let's take a look here. So purely from a chart perspective, Scotty, again, this is this a news related gap up, but purely from a chart perspective, let's get you some levels here, get a game plan, because this is a very very tradable setup that I see here, a very obvious setup. It's going to, let me extend this because it's going to work perfect here. So if a ceasefire is announced, or you know, between Israel and Iran, I don't know if this will be like a direct sell-off or if it'll pump overall the market. Like I think the market would kind of get like a little bit of a relief rally pump, because I think that'd be, you know, de-escalation worldwide. Let me get this going here. So this is kind of a tricky name to trade. So it's, you know, from a chart perspective, it did what it needed to, and obviously it gapped up, and it's like, well, duh, it gapped up because of war news. So, but again, what I'd be watching for here, let me get to a smaller time frame chart here for you. Let's go to 1 hour. Our top for now, or excuse me, our floor, our bottom for now, Scotty, definitely all bounces this week play into this 89.50, this 89 to 89.50, this green zone I shaded for you. So if you guys are new to my charting, green zone, we're kind of calling it like a big support zone, support area. If I draw a red zone, which I probably should up here, that is kind of resistance, or hey, you should kind of be scaling out some calls on your day trader, your swings kind of thing. So we're opening towards this upper range here, Scotty. So what I would look for, brother, it's pretty simple. First and foremost, watch your price action, ride your EMA, stuff like that. I was drawing right here. So if you use the hourly 20, that is this yellow line here. If you use the 9 EMA, I don't have VWAP on here just for cleanliness of chart. But I would just ride this wave, ride this momentum. I think it's going to do a quick push up to here. So I don't know if it's going to open at 89.30 and it pushes up 20 cents the first 5-minute candle, and you're like, shit, I didn't get into it. But if we push up to here and we start seeing this thing kind of stall out, like we start seeing price action like this. So a topside wick here, a candle body push, or a candle push, and a sell down. If we start seeing this top zone, so if this right here, if this line was this line up here, 90.5, we start seeing it stall out like that, I would definitely look into be with caution. You can take some puts up here to short it, because you know your risk is small up here, and your potential could potentially be this downside sell on it. But again, if we make this move here, ideally it'd be nice to dip a little bit. You get a nice buyback, and you ride this trend up. For you guys that are watching this chart, all the way, take calls up to this 90.5 to 90.7 pocket. I've had this level marked for many years. It has done me very well. But we can see just recently, that was in the pre-market. But if I can scroll, let's see how far back we got to scroll. Maybe not a good example there. But anyway, this would be my top range here on XLE for sure. Again, watch your names, just like SPY, watch your names that move XLE. If XOM is pushing, CVX is pushing, stuff like that, this is probably going to be as well. But kind of a sneaky level here. And after hours wick, we truly don't know how much volume is here. We don't know if that's a dark pool level there. So anything under 90, this move could maybe get faded. I don't know if it's going to get faded all the way, but that's kind of my middle zone pivot. So if I were to get a line here for you at like 90, any dips, buy all dips into here for a potential push up. Like that's, a 50-cent move on XLE. If you buy a 90 call in the money, 50 cents halfway your delta, that's going to pay you very, very nice on that level there. But again, any sells under 90, I'm not super bearish, but for a day trade, you might be able to catch a move on puts if this name, it's going to move a lot. If it's moving a lot with war news, so it's kind of tricky to say. But a technical standpoint, if we don't hold 90, I'm looking for a retrace here, and I'm looking to buy the dip in here. Not really safe to swings on much of anything without time, especially this name, because it's going to be very, very affected. But hopefully that helps you. Yeah, the Iran Strait. If they cut that off, it's 20. Is it 20% of the U.S. supply oil or the world? I'm not for sure, but I can't remember the quote. Yeah, 25% of the world. So, we have oil reserves too. Like I said, I'm not a geopolitical expert, but this could be a mover for sure. If there's any news on that, I like your angle that play, Scotty. This could move for sure on this, and any breakout and hold over. I'm not going to fight with puts. I'm going to say, hey, the momentum's here. The sector's hot, whether you support, what's happening with it or not. Any break and hold over that, I'm riding that up for the next leg, whenever and however quick that happens. Ardin, I think I'm saying your name correctly. We already went over SPY, but if you hang around for 30 more minutes to learn a little bit, I always do a SPY and QQQ recap quickly at the end. But if there's not much on the watch list, I can definitely get to it for you as well. Hopefully it helps you, Scotty. Laro, Walmart, let's check it. Swung that. Well, oh shoot, that Walmart I was in, huh? Well, happy accident, brother. I love this setup here. The sellers were, the buyers were just too strong on Friday. Like it looked like a 95.50 touch in a day for me, but I was shorting that trend anyway that followed that alert. I took, I don't know, 15 to 18%, but if this holds, brother, for sure, man. Obviously you're still in it. So my game plan for you on this, let's adjust this level here. I don't really want to move these because these help me. Let me get a new one going for you here, because definitely I see some easy areas to watch here. So again, I'm using swing highs and lows in the market. So I'm starting over here. I'm grabbing this wick here, you guys. I'm just dragging it over slowly, and I'm grabbing the top of this wick here, 95.50, 95.50. Okay, and I'm extending it. Okay, so this top side wick here, let me get my cheesy drawings. Hopefully they help you. Buyers stopped in their tracks there. Okay, this candle here on the 30-minute, buyers stopped in their tracks. Pre-market, buyers are stopped. On the flip side, on Friday, what do we know about when we get over resistance? What is it? It is now support. What did it do? It bounced that zone. We are now under it. Where did our lovely candle go? That just disappeared like a ghost. That's weird. That is my game plan this week for you, Laro. If you are in, it's right here, kind of pin bar. Okay. So daily 9 here, very, very easy chart to trade for you. So the daily 9 is this purple. It's going to be dashed. I don't know where it's going to open at exactly because it's based on the closing price. It'll update tomorrow for us. So if that is stacked here on this red zone, any holds under that, that's an easy short for me. I may even take this a re-entry and alert some re-entry on puts tomorrow, because to me, I try and trade what is easy and obvious. So if we sell through this red zone, so right now we're kind of somewhere in here, there's not a ton of volume to play off of, but let's say we kind of open into it, we push up, we get smacked down hard, we sell through this level here. Okay, so let's focus on this red zone. Why is it an easy put zone, or to take puts underneath here? Because we gave up Friday support and is now flipped resistance. Don't believe me? Look left here at this price action. That's the price action I would expect to see. If we reject into here, we break down, retest, textbook, trading education for you guys here. Same thing, we eject this red zone here, what happens? Selling pressure, rejection, rejection, rejection. Boom. You could have bought the dip or bought the short up here on puts down again. Bought the short, puts down again. Bought the short, puts down again. You could have potentially day traded every single, flipping these 30-minute candles, 15-minute candles, whatever it is, down here. So brother, any rejections and hold under here, that's a safe hold for me. I would definitely trim one here just in case we bounce back and break over that. At least you got some, you know, a little bit of meat off the bone there. But any rejections there, hold that for sure to 95. But for me, if you're only in a few, I'd be out at 95. If you're in a few, just a runner. Perfect. Okay. So if it's truly a runner, yeah, you got two options here. So let's just say this candle is right here at the open. Option number one, just sell here right at the open. I think there's probably not going to be too much of a theta hit. You should still be in profit. Watch the spread. Or say it opens up, let's just say 35%, and you want to let it ride. Okay, so that contract, let me see, what did I buy at 101? So I bought it up here at 101. They're 115 bucks roughly down here. They peaked at 120. Let's just say it's $1.35 here. So you're up basically 35%. So you look at the value of the contract of the chart. It's $1.35. We sell down. Where's your stop at? $1.35. No questions asked. You will not lose more than 35, or you'll at minimum make 35 bucks on that contract because we bought up here at 101. So we sell down, go get that 95 zone, sell quick, because I see this and I think potential bounce. I see this in the pre-market, I think potential bounce. But yeah, this is I'm going to get alert here for this one because I like, again, you guys know how I trade, swing highs and lows. Any break under this 95.4 and a failed breakout, that's a super, super clean, low risk setup for puts. Failed over the red zone, selling pressure. Failed breakover, selling pressure. Selling pressure, get the point. This is just recent, the last 2 weeks, you guys. Any pre-market gap over, I'm looking for a bounce play on this. I'd definitely get out of those puts on a reclaim of 95.5. I don't mean the 2 minute, I mean something like a 15-minute reclaim. And I'm looking to buy a bounce and copy this price action for calls, write it all the way up here. Kind of a good happy accident, good chart to go over for sure. Let's see. Errol, good to have you in here. I haven't seen you in here in a little bit. I think I don't know if I remember that name for a little bit. BMRA, I think I'm saying it. Yep. Shares. Are you in shares? Want to be in shares? You're in shares and you're red. Unmute your mic or let me know in the chat so I can help you out here. I see a lot of things right away. All the EMAs, all moving averages are stacked. In shares, red. You don't have to say how many are in. Just say, give me what is your cost, dollar cost average. Again, I don't need to know if you're down $3 or $1,000. That's nobody's business. But what is your dollar cost average on those? So I can get a line here for you. And again, this will be purely a technical perspective. I don't know anything about the company. But let me get a couple charting lines for you here because I see a lot to work with. And I'll wait for your reply in the chat. Oops. Down 35%. Quick math. Anybody know what dollar cost that is? Oh, that's close. 35%. So you're in somewhere up here. Okay, you're in on that cluster we sold. Not ideal, so you're in somewhere probably around 5. Let's just call it 5. So you probably got in, or maybe, you know, hopefully you didn't get in. You've seen this big move and didn't sell. But regardless, not going to bash you on that. So you're down, that's fine. Let's get a game plan for you. So basically, guys, what I'm looking at here on the daily, this is kind of nice. I've never traded this before. So a sell down through April 19th of last year. Sell through this 5 zone. Quick drink of water. Attempted breakout hold. It held for a few days. It ultimately sold down May of last year, and we're trickling down here. I bet if I go to the weekly, this $3 zone is a big zone to watch here. Let me get a couple more lines here before I get ahead of myself here. But basically, it's a sell down into this, what I would call, you know, they mentioned they're in shares, but this is one of those things where if we're in puts down here, this is where I personally don't want to be in puts when I look at this chart. Obviously, you can keep going more, but when I look at something like this, I see, I see big consolidation zone down here, and I see sellers, kind of losing the battle. So yeah, if you shorted from 347 to slower range, yeah, it's another 30%. But I'm seeing here this pocket right here. Let me get it going for you. It's going to be red. Let's just pretend this is green, as let's just treat it as support. What I'm seeing here, Errol, is you're in red. I'm not going to tell you to add more because I don't know if you're in heavy, but this is kind of the zone where if we break this, what happens when we break under. This is another leg down. You have to ask yourself, is this in your Roth IRA and you're just dollar cost averaging? You're in small. You're in maybe a 30% position size, or your intended position size. Like say you would have been $1,000. You're only in $300 up here. You're down 30%. Yeah, it's ugly, but you still have not added. But what I'm getting at is, again, I guess just to make it easy on everybody. So this is green. We're treating this as support until it's not. So if we fail this zone here under 317, we know what happens. We leg down, and we know if you keep holding, what I say, you're going to be down another 20, 25%. So you don't want to do that. So for me, they got to hold this. There is some stuff working for you here. Is continuous buybacks at this $3 range. Basically 317. What I do like to see that. And another thing, a couple things working against you, but if it happens, we bounce up over here, this 350, you have some stuff working for you. So this is the daily 200. It moves very, very slow because it's 200 days of a moving average. The green is the 20. The 9 dashed, or excuse me, the purple dashed is the daily 9. So that's going to curl first. Your 20, again, this is on a potential move up. Your green is going to curl underneath the 20. I know it's all orange lines. And then if you get this move over 350, this is my point here. This is where I personally, so basically this sell down here and reclaim this is what you want to see. I know it didn't hold, but if and when you're going to take an average on these shares, this would be the point to do it. So if we break over 350, that is this zone here, basically this price action, what you want to see. The moving averages are under it, and for a split second here on this candle, they were over it, and that's when they curl and we start potentially pushing up in the stock price, and the moving averages are not underneath you, and every time we come into it, they act as support. Every time you touch moving average, as they are resistance on the way down, on the backside, they act as support. So if and when you're going to take an average, you can do it here, but this has to be last chance support. You can't fight it on shares, because another thing, whether you're down $20 or 2,000 or 20,000, you have buying power tied up into this. And again, maybe it's a 30-year hold for you. I don't know. Maybe it was supposed to be a short-term hold. Obviously it's sold down for 3 months, but you just got to face the facts on the chart and just say, hey, my timing's not right on this. Maybe it's going to have, bullish news, or, some trials come out that are supposed to be good for it. But if that breaks there, it's a cut for me. But any holds here and a break over that 350, I would add to it and try and get that push up. But again, this thing is just getting its ass kicked, beaten down pretty much day after day, but it's slowly holding its zone here. And it's not really, as of the whole month of May and June, there's little progress, basically under $3. Wait, I just did BMRA, sorry. BBAI. Norman, welcome in. QQQ, we went over. I'll go over it for at the end of the class, brother. Moderna, yeah, I can check that.
What up, 1K? I'm here at SeaWorld, my G.
What's up, man? All right, I see a what do they call that? Pennant. Get some support lines going for you here. I'm on the daily, up on that daily, because I'm seeing a nice little pivot Resistance becoming support here, still resistance up here. Let's see. Sorry, I'm just getting caught up on the chat. Errol, are you in at 394 on this name? Let me know, please. 394 on this one. If you're in 394, that'd be great. If it's 491, that's fine too. Just trying to make sure I'm getting those names correctly. Yep, 394. All right. I like what I see here for you on this one. So kind of the same thing. So let me get out of this drawing mode. Same thing here. Let's call this demand. I would treat it as such until it fails us. If you want to take notes or a screenshot is how I would play this play on shares. All right. So we've seen this would have been red if you're talking back here in May or March. Resistance, 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 push up, resistance, push up, breakout, retest. Zoom in just so it's nice and big for you guys. So again, breakout, retest. What is it now? This is demand. This is support. This is buyers kicking in saying, okay, this name's getting its butt whooped. We're going to defend 356. Again, breakout, retest. What are we doing? We're defending 356 to 380 zone. Again, just Friday alone. The low of the day, 380. Top zone of this support here. So I would definitely, this would be my line in the sand. As River says, any holds of this, you're in at 394. We sell down, you're risking 10%. For me, 10% on shares, a 10% risk it's nothing. I'm not freaking out about that. So best case scenario for you here, Errol, is this trend line holds. And again, like I mentioned in that last chart, what do we have? Really great setup potential here. Our daily 200. What is it? It's underneath us, forming support. Our green line, our 20. What did it do? It curled. Our 9, it curled. You have two moving averages stacked right here, forming support, and you have a trend line. So right here, immediately you have three immediate forms of support. Actually, 4. The last one is right here on this 380 zone here. So for me, ride this out. You obviously need a breakout of this. Even better, this 4-4 zone up here, because we see lots of selling pressure kicking up there. 394. %10 move, brother. I mean, 10% shares, that's all right for me, unless this is, again, a long-term hold. But if I'm buying down here and we keep, because you're in down here and you don't take your 10%, what happens? We reject. We come back down here. And you don't stop out because you're basically break even. We push up. You don't take your 10%. And I go, shit, I could have taken 10%, 10%. We get back down into here. What happens if we start ranging? What if we range for another 6 or 8 months? 10%, 10%, 10%, 10% when you're buying off these bottoms here. So for me, might not be what you want to hear, but maybe trim or take your 10% in this range and we break and hold this range, get a new entry. So maybe you're, hypothetically, maybe you're in heavy on this. Take your 10%, you free up your buying power. Let me clear this out. It's getting a little messy. So, you know, we kind of trickle into here. We bounce this trend line. You take your 10%, breakout, hold. The real breakout comes now. You got lucky. Yeah, maybe you're kicking because you're pissed because you didn't take that 10%. You'd be up 20 now. But now you free up buying power. You got your new entry. Resistance, now support, pushing up over the zone here. That's what I'd be doing. Again, playing the chart. Oops. Playing the chart here because we know how important that 4-4 zone in here, even just December of last year. So, but a break and hold of that, I think sellers are done because they're just going to ride this wave. They're going to ride the 200. Kind of a nice chart potential setup here, but extend that trend line out, brother. If that holds, especially over that 4-4. But yeah, like I said, I wish saying that push up would be 30% because you probably wouldn't flinch that. You take it 30% all day. 10%, maybe that's not sexy, but that's a good share flip in my eyes. But got to break over that and got to hold this. This is very cut and dry because you're as of now you're in profit barely or break even. It's very obvious we need to happen. You know where your support is. and you know your resistances. Shares rely on daily, weekly, 4-hour charts. Find the big picture. Don't be scared of a red day because it's at support. I would not be scared on a down to 380 sell. Moderna. What is that ticker name? Is it? Wait, it popped up. Yeah, mRNA. Are you in this, Norman?
I'm looking to get into a swing, brother. 2 months out.
2 months out. Why are we stalling down here? Let's slap a line. Let's see if it makes sense. Gonna check that weekly. I don't think this all-time low. Could be wrong. Check the weekly. What are we doing? Why are we stalling out here? Was this shit? Is this all-time lows? No, it can't be. Is it? No. No way. I don't believe it. Let's go back 10 years. Oh, baby. That's why we're stalling out there. Look at that old consolidation zone. Never delete your levels, guys, because the price, I'm not saying dollars comes back to it, not saying SPY is going to go back to 200. That'd be pretty worrisome, but if you see a chart selling, and it's kind of stalling out, this is back, okay, this is 2018. Let's call it good enough. And then we got the COVID pump, obviously. And it's getting its butt whooped because, well, I don't know. Maybe they're not making any money, whatever, but damn, brother. Norvin, let's see. If you enter now, 2 months out, you know what? This is doable. So hear me out. So let's just say you enter tomorrow on this low of last week. So if I make the chart like this, it looks big and scary, right? Everyone can agree, you know, big candles. We look at the price. This is a 50-cent move down. So Greeks and options, if you got time, brother, you can, this is what I would do. You can get a starter entry here. And if you got time, if you're in a full position size, we break under this and kind of hold it. Obviously we held under it, wins. Is that Wednesday? Why are we not getting, oh yeah, we didn't trade Thursday, right? Yeah. So Wednesday they sold under and closed under at Wednesday. And what they do, they bought it back up and treated it as support on Friday. Big buy back up. So for me, I would buy the dip here, but any sell, I'm not saying like sell down here quite yet, but for my comments, but any sell through down here, brother, and you got to be able to stomach a little bit of red. You can't get freaked out because the reason I say that, zoom in here, is you see buybacks up and buybacks up with conviction. So, you know, I didn't see the time in sales here on this move here, but I bet, you know, it probably lit up with some buyers down here. For whatever reason, 25.4 is a big level or whatever. We control back, you know, 6 or 8 years and figure it out. But I think they're going to try and sell this down here. But if you start seeing bottom side wicks like this, like that is conviction for me to hold. And if you get the bounce, you know your stop is easy because you know you caught the bottom. So if you're in a full position right away, you got to treat that as your stop. You know, we start selling under this zone here. I'm going to say it's not ready. The exact Greeks, I don't know what percent you'd be down on a 2-month out contract, but again, just know that 50 cents away, there's a huge support. So if you're like in November contracts, I might say, and you're half position size, I might say hold that move down for an add to support there. Everybody trades different. Some people say, hey, this support gave way, whatever. I don't care if there's another support 50 cents away. This setup failed, you know, very good point because it held for 1, 2, 3, 4 days. All of a sudden it sells through. You know, maybe that's a better advice to give you. But if you catch that bounce, it's easy, brother, to look for your targets. Like, it doesn't get any easier than this. You catch the bottom, you look left. I'm on the 1 hour, 30 minute, or 15 is even easier. You say, okay, about the bottom, where are the candle bodies pushing and stalling out? Easy. Zone there, easy. Trim there. High of the week, or high of Friday, excuse me, zone. Trim there on the way up. So you buy the bottom, you know, you can buy the bottom of these candles here. Trim all the way up. Quickest charting, you guys. People hate playing ranges and trading ranges. You know, I'm not talking about a 50-cent range, that sucks. But a range like this is a blessing. So you bottom tick, where we at? What do we say? 25.5 potentially. Like you bottom tick here, trim, 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 trim. You sell this top range rejection. Like that's textbook trading, doesn't get any easier than that. And guess what? You trim, you're up huge. You're like, oh shit, double top or rejecting. Take your damn puts. We're day traders, man. Who cares? Like, don't get married to a trade. If I see this from Friday alone, again, this isn't 2 months ago. This is one trading day ago. We stall out Friday double top, last week's high. Get your puts easy. And what do? Say we get super weak on the market, round trip that. This is very highly unlikely that we go up like this and back down, but crazier shits happen. What do? Trim on the way down, trim, trim. Like trading in ranges, it makes it easy, you guys, because there's no guesswork on where we should be selling. Yep. Appreciate it, brother. All right. I think I got every request in. Man, watch list is quiet. Let's come on, no Tesla requests. You guys are crazy. Let's see where the rest of the market's at. We got 7 minutes. Let me check, see where the market's at before I do SPY and QQQ. Tesla, you guys, if you guys aren't shorting that shit at 329, once it breaks under or rejection, that is free money. 329 on Tesla, mark that. Huge level. Tesla's middle of the zone here. How do we play Tesla? I know no one asked for it, but let's roll with it. Crash. All right. Let me finish my quick thought on Tesla. We'll do VSAT for sure, brother. Tesla kind of middle of the range. So upper range here, lower range. You guys know how I roll. My thick lines are bigger support and resistance. We're in the middle of the zone here. Any bounces 321.28. Why does that bounce? It's support, and it's also the daily 9 moving average. Look at this purple line here. 2 moving averages stacked there. If we bounce that zone there, I expect to see that price action from Friday in the afternoon on that buyback. Look for potential top range there. I'm not saying it gets the $8 move, but it is potential. Any sell through this middle, so this is the middle range here. Any sell under, easy on puts for me. Puts on a breakdown under 321. Again, I'm not in the 321 looking for 313. No, I'm in the 321. And what am I doing? I'm looking at Friday's price action, going, okay, where am I selling? We just broke this support. Why am I getting puts here? Because when we break this support, what happens? Selling pressure. We break this support, what happens? Selling pressure. Okay, easy. Where do we go? Grab these candle bodies here. Grab these bottom side wicks. Trim, trim, trim. Fully out there, 317. Easy chart on Tesla. All right, let's hit VSAT. Right, VSAT, yep. What do you got on this one, Crash? Are you in the, let's see, are you in this or just one little perspective? I don't think I have any lines on this. I don't know if I trade this one at all. Let's see. Shares, nice. Care to share your in shares? What's your average, if you don't mind? If you don't want to say, that's okay. Nice bottom range breakout there. Nice EMA curl. Nice 200 reclaim. Love it. Let's see, 980. All right. Was this? Oh man, was that all-time low? Did you bottom tick kind of this zone here? Or is that just some really, really old levels from more than 3 years? Let's see. Oh, wow. Yep, all-time low. Love it. Man, you and me, we might be a catfish, brother. We're bottom feeders. I love finding shit like this. 4-hour chart here, guys. Will be a big picture look just for education first. Then I'll zoom out just a bit here. But basically, quick charting. It's not gonna be perfect. You know, they sell down in the zone since October. Yeah, they sold it down another $2, but ultimately, you know, kind of this $9 range here was where kind of like that was kind of pivot where we get over Buyers showed a little bit of interest. Sellers kind of kicked in, buy back over. Top range here. Gotta love this breakout here. This definitely could be a range top zone. So basically, yeah, that 11, 6, 12, 3. Because it lines up perfect with that. Let's see what it looks like on the daily. I know it's the 4 hours. So, oh yeah. Damn. If you guys, you have to ask Crash about this company, but breakout retest, shit, this is textbook for long swings and shares, definitely. So, shit, you even said it in the chat, perfect. So he is looking for, and I totally agree on this. Resistance is now support. Find the trades, you guys, find the setups that make it easy, that take the guesswork out. Obviously, that comes with experience on charting. But again, you see here a sell down into the zone, buyers gobbling up those sellers, big ass reversal. Consolidation, break down what happens. Sellers give up. Okay, let's go through history here. Breakdown retest, or excuse me, attempted breakout, selling pressure kicked in. Selling pressure kicked in, selling pressure kicked in, selling pressure kicked in, selling pressure kicked in. Did we get news last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days ago? That's a big ass candle there, totally engulfing that resistance. So resistance, now support. This is what I talked about, textbook. You want to see moving averages and EMAs curling. This is exactly what we're looking for. So best case scenario, and I know a lot of traders are probably looking for this, dollar cost average in if you don't want to miss the train. Again, I could be wrong. We could knife through this, sell through this. But for me, I think a lot of investors are looking for a back test of the zone here. Big ass candle here from, like I said, 5 or 6 days ago. Totally not just like closed here the next day we broke over. This totally closed over it convincingly, and the follow through convincingly held. So for me, any back test here, basically, what are we risking here percent wise? So if you buy here at 12.30, 5%, that's nothing. That is nothing. For me, if you guys like to buy some shares, again, I don't think about the company. Dollar cost average, in case we don't sell down into here, but a trickle down into here is a buy 100%. There's no way a sell a drop down into here that I know this is going to be support all day long. Moving averages, all moving averages underneath you. I don't look at this and go, okay, I want puts here, or I want to, short the stock, like actually be short on the stock. Like this is absolutely a breakout retest textbook, like we teach to get into some shares. So it may dip perfectly. It may kind of trickle down into here and spend some days down into here, something like this on support, and then the next leg up. But any trickle down in here in this 12.3, I mean, he already said it in the chat. Any hold of that, like shares all day long. We may even dip down in here. I wouldn't even dollar cost average on 5% red. Like I would look to see, does this hold here? But again, we broke essentially an important resistance is now support. It is very obvious that if we were looking to just flip shares, to me, it's obvious where we start thinking, hey, I should probably, sell for a small loss, because we know if we sell under here, what happens. Or, maybe one more dollar cost on a big level here. I know I drew like a line top and bottom range here, but we grab some moving averages here. You can dollar cost a little bit. We hold. Now you got a better average. We break over. But yeah, man, any holds of this and I don't know if this is very liquid for options, but yeah, I'm going to set and learn here. Might be riding your coattails a little bit on this one. Let's see what we do here. That's the beauty of charting requests, you guys. Sometimes I see stuff I like, but this is easy for me. Low range breakout, and the top side of that low range is this green zone is now support. Love that. Definitely. All right. 6:01. If you guys got to head out, you can. If you guys want to stick around, SPY recap. Appreciate you guys being here as always. Like I said, if you want to get a recap, maybe you missed it. A little bit messy here, but here's a look at our daily, kind of what I'm watching, and I'll zoom in for you guys here. So, biggest things for me to watch. Let me really expand this chart here. I'm not, even though we're as of now gap down, I'm not super bearish on the week, because bearish sells into here. I'm going to show you on an intraday chart. We could get this touch in 15 minutes, or we could get it on Wednesday or Thursday. I don't know. Or we can maybe we could test this, what will be a pre-market low around 591 and just shoot up and never hit this level. So big picture here, you guys. Again, a few things concerning technical wise. We broke 598 on Friday, did not hold. That was in my notes. I know that was in my notes on my watch list on Friday. Said we break that, I'm looking for a push up to the 600. We did not hold that. Sold through 595, next zone of support, thick line here. Okay, sold down low, closed a little bit higher, fine. So my focus here, you guys, a zoomed in look here. We're day traders. Here's that price action of what I just mentioned. Again, failed hold of 598 on Friday. What do? We sold down. This was green. I said possible touch 595. And what do? We sold into support. And this afternoon, or excuse me, this late morning, Friday price action, not looking down here quite yet, just top side, price action on the zone here of 595. Big battle here. I started to see top side wicks, went short in the afternoon on Walmart. I said lower highs are being set. Obviously, Walmart didn't get a huge breakdown, SPY did, but that's what I'm watching. So game plan for this week, how to trade it, you guys. First and foremost, if we push up, be mindful of the gap as you trade into it. Price can move very quickly, but don't enter calls here as we enter this gap based on this candle here. Again, your target is not 595. Your target is a trim all the way up. So you get into calls here. Where's your first target? First and foremost, easiest of the day, or easiest to figure out, is Friday's low. You guys see, how do you build a game plan every single week, every single night? I already have an alert set here at Friday's low. I want to see, does that trigger tomorrow, and our reaction there. Breakout retest. We're now forming a double bottom from Friday. Fine, get our calls for another leg up. But if I start seeing rejections of Friday's low, I'm looking for retracement back into this 592 zone. Again, we're day traders. I don't care which way the market moves. I just want to make some money in it. So any holds basically at 592, look for retracement. Again, don't look for this yet until we get Friday's low clears. We clear Friday's low. Let's just call it 593 for a round number. Okay, now look into that 594, but look up that wick there. Look at this price action here. Look at Friday's close. It lines up almost with 594. Break over 594. Okay, so we're doing this move here. Breakout retest. You're just joining the Discord because you had to work. You're like, okay, well, we broke 594. We cleared Friday's low. Okay, look to get a breakout retest. Let's go fill that gap. Let's go push to 595. Okay, I will not be fighting it there. Any sells, bear setups. Setup number one, we push up. You miss the move up to Friday's low. That's an easy low risk short. You enter puts here. Your risk is fairly small. I need to go to a smaller time frame to figure out where my stop out would be. I'm not going to stop out up here. I'm not going to let puts move against me that much, but it's somewhere small, something similar to that. So that's my risk level for potential reward. So option number one, if you want to be a bear tomorrow, you watch this move up here. You look for a stall out and opening range set, the opening range high 593. No breakouts are holding on a 30-minute chart, 15-minute chart. Get your puts for a possible retracement back down into 592. So should be trim and heavy there. We sell through 592. Where are we going? We're probably going down here. Option number two, we kind of trickle in here. We open around 592, reject that zone. Let's just say that this is our low of this this session from when it opened here. Let's just draw our box here. We sell down, reject that position there. Get your puts here at this low. You could use a stop out. I bet there's some big orders battling out at 592, but if they fail to break out 592, take your puts down. We're probably going to go hit that pretty damn quick. But again, larger time frame, do not hold your puts at 590. Can it sell through? maybe. Breakdown, retest a 590, get your puts re-entry, but there's no way you catch a $2 move down and your greed is ginormous and you want more because you're taking loss after loss. You think you need to make it up in one trade. And you're in 10 contracts, you don't sell here. What do? Me or Nando or River alert some calls, and boom, you're up 120%, and you check back and now you're up 30%. That's stupid trading. Do not let that happen. So if you guys need extra help tomorrow, pay attention to my tab. I'll give some detailed trading advice, stuff I'm looking for early in the market. Hopefully we kind of stay around this 592. That'd kind of be a little bit of a blessing. If we sell under it, I'm not too worried because I have this big area that I'm confident about, 590. If we open kind of over Friday's low, we got some stuff to work with too. So we're not opening no man's land, which is great because we got some stuff to work with. So if there's no other questions, you guys, I'm in the chat. I appreciate all 9 or 10 of you sticking around. I see all the regulars in here. You guys are putting in the work. You guys are the ones that are going to be the good traders trading on your own. So thank you guys. Thank you for the good questions. But with that, I'm going to end the chat. Have a great night, guys.